Congratulations on getting married, Natalia. I hope that you and my little brother Ty have a wonderful life together.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being there for us, Violet.
I should be thanking you as well, though. I'm also very happy that I've now got myself a very cute little sister. So I hope that you two continue to be very close and happy with one another.
Oh, we will forever. So now that I'm family, do you mind if I ask you some things? I really want to know what university you ended up graduating from and what kind of work you do as your profession.
Huh? You want to know about my education and what I do for a living?
I think we should know more about each other in order to grow closer as sisters now. And I haven't heard anything about you in your life yet. Ah, and of course, you can ask more about me if you'd like. I'll tell you right now that I've graduated from Notre Dame.
Actually, I already knew about that from what my brothers told me. He told me that from a very young age, you've been very bright, and you got a full-ride scholarship into Notre Dame.
Oh, come on. He shouldn't have to talk me up that much. But anyway, what university did you end up graduating from, Violet? I see that you're pretty good at speaking Chinese, so maybe you graduated from a university over there or something?
I'm sorry that you've gotten your hopes up. In reality, I never graduated from high school. I never even made it out of high school, so university never happened for me.
What? Like, high school dropout? Ty's older sister is a high school dropout? The girl that I'm calling my sister now is a high school dropout?
I'm sure that's a pretty big surprise for you, huh? Ever since I was little, I had always wanted to become a pro soccer player. And so after a year in high school here in the States, I left and went to a vocational school overseas to play soccer. But, of course, I never made it very far after a few years of playing soccer, and so now I'm just your average office worker.
Wait a minute, Violet. What are you talking about? I never heard about that story from anyone. You dropped out of high school and played soccer overseas? And you were trying to become a pro soccer player? Are you telling me you chose to leave school so that you could do something as meaningless as that?
Even if it did end up having little meaning, I was chasing after the dream I had back then. At the time, there weren't many schools or teams here in the US that I could go to play soccer on a high level. And so going overseas to an all-women's vocational school was my best bet.
But even then, dropping out of high school to go overseas is... I can't believe that you never graduated high school or college. And you didn't even get to make it to your dream and have to work as an office worker now? That's the perfect formula for you to be a complete loser in this society, right?
When you think of it like that, I can see why you'd think of me that way.
No, wait. I can't be with someone like that. I'm taking back what I said earlier about you. I don't want to become closer to you like a sister anymore, Violet.
Huh? Natalia?
I've always hated idiots and anything that has to do with them. Idiots have always been annoying in school and everything, so I can only be with people that are smart, and that's it. Yet, now you're telling me that you're an idiot as well? I cannot deal with this kind of crap anymore. It's like I've been stabbed in the back.
Stabbed in the back?
This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Do you get it now? Don't you ever come close to me ever again, okay? I do not want my education at Notre Dame to be ruined by some high school dropout thinking that she can make conversation with me.
Huh?
Now I have to go. After this, never try talking to me again.
I think you've already heard everything now, right? About how my daughter and your brother have gotten married, right? Now your family and mine are one happy family. But I never thought this would be how you and I came to meet again. This world is quite small if you ask me.
You have that right. I'm in the same boat as you, thinking that I never expected to meet you again in this way. I seriously couldn't believe that Natalia's mother would be the woman that cared for me long ago.
And even now, I'd like you to think of me as someone that's here for you to care whenever you need it. What's funny is that ever since Natalia was a little girl, she had always wanted a bigger sister to be around. I know that you're all older now, but please treat her as your little sister and be close to one another.
Well, if I can make that happen, I'd love to. But just a little bit ago, I think I made her hate me.
Huh? What do you mean you made her hate you? Did something happen between you two?
Well, nothing really happened between us besides her learning about my past. I happened to tell her that I was a high school dropout back in the day. And for some reason, she did not take hearing that very well. She told me that she hates idiots a lot.
What? I am so sorry for what my little girl said to you. I never thought she'd say something so rude to you.
No worries, I'm used to things like that, so it's no skin off my back. Every once in a while, I get told that I'm an idiot for never finishing high school and things like that. And I have to take responsibility for the life I chose since there's no one else I should be blaming.
I know this might sound like me defending what she did, but Natalia does have a pretty big status for getting a full ride in Notre Dame. That's the only thing she can take pride in since growing up. She was never good at anything besides studying. She couldn't really play any sports, and when it came to arts, she was hopeless. She learned that books were the only thing she could manage and made studying her whole life.
Well, even if that's all she's been good at, it's amazing how well she's done. She was able to study really hard and land that scholarship for a really well-renowned school.
Yes, and we respect her for putting in all that effort to make it there. And we had hoped that by her going off to a really nice school, she'd be able to change a bit. We really just wanted her to see that there's more to life than just studying, but I think her going to a school like that only made her worse about hating anything that isn't studying or higher education.
Really?
And this time she's even hating on people for their educations. She really has turned into a pretty embarrassing young woman for doing something as petty as that. My husband and I have tried so hard to tell her that one's education isn't everything, but she turns around every time saying that it is, and anyone beneath her in education is an idiot.
That really is a change for the worst, huh? And when you talk about one's educational past, mine is pretty bad. Not only did I not graduate high school, but I also failed at attaining my dream. I think being hated by Natalia is just going to be something that I have to live with from now on.
What are you saying, Violet? That is not true at all. You are not just some loser for not being able to become a pro soccer player. I think it's amazing that you went overseas on your own to try and make it big in the soccer world. And so I'll never think of you as someone less than amazing.
Huh? You're talking about me?
I am. You really have been such an inspiration to me. So to me, it's a real shame that you and my daughter aren't getting along too well right now. You can leave Natalia to me, okay? I'll try my best to make sure that she knows just how awesome of a person you really are.
What were you thinking, Natalia? Let me back into your guys' wedding hall. You sent me that invitation and I already RSVP'd to your wedding as well as brought along a gift for you. Why did you think it was okay to kick me out of there like that?
I don't like you, so it's fair for me to kick you out, right? This is my wedding, and I don't need some high school dropout coming in here to mess it up. So, to keep my wedding from going under due to you, get lost and go back home or something.
What? You act like I could ruin your wedding, but I haven't even done anything. I just want to be here to celebrate my brother and you having your wedding today.
But just having someone with no education here is making the atmosphere unbearable. Just by sitting in this building, you'll cause my whole wedding to fall apart.
Excuse me?
Also, the only people allowed in my wedding are those that at least graduated from high school. Actually, everyone here has graduated from university. All my friends here came from Notre Dame like me, and all my coworkers and bosses are from other well-known universities. And, of course, both Thea and I and all of his friends and coworkers are from high-level universities as well. So, the only one that was being an embarrassment was you, the idiot dropout.
I don't think being a dropout is anything to be embarrassed about, though. And I feel that a lot of the other people there feel the same way.
Really? Everyone knows that those that couldn't graduate from high school are disgusting and stupid. You may think you are someone for having chased after those big dreams you had, but dropping out of school is still dropping out. You have less of an education than even some monkeys have, and that's just embarrassing. And having you around here would only cause trouble for the rest of my guests today.
Natalia...
I'm tired of talking to you, so hurry up and go away. Even my parents are asking that you leave this place and stay away. So get out of here, you uneducated idiot. This is not the place for someone with an IQ under 90 to be spending their time.
Well, then we'll have to leave this wedding as well.
Huh?
Once again, you are out here trying to judge people only by their education and nothing else. And as your mother, I cannot go another minute watching you act like a complete child. So if you want to say those things about Violet, then I have no choice but to go home with her.
Huh? Why are you talking to me now, Mom? This is just a conversation for me and Violet.
I was wondering why I hadn't seen Violet anywhere and thought that I needed to go looking for her. And so while making a lap around the outside of the hall, I found her all alone sitting on some steps. I asked her what was wrong and she told me everything as well as showed me you guys' conversation.
But why are you saying that the both of you are going to go home together? That girl is the only one at this whole wedding that's uneducated and stupid. So I'm telling her to go home before she becomes even more of an embarrassment and ruins my whole wedding. I'm not being a jerk or anything by kicking her out. I'm the bride, and it's totally fine of me to ask her to leave before she destroys my wedding.
I understand that Violet never graduated high school. When compared to someone who went to Notre Dame with a full-ride scholarship, her education is near nothing. But she is anything but an idiot, Natalia. If you think she is based off her education, then that makes two of us then. Actually, you'd be calling a lot of people that are here at your wedding idiots.
Huh?
If you really hate all of us idiots that much, then we'll all just go home. If you're going to kick Violet out for that reason, then I want you to kick everyone else that's an idiot to you out. Then you and your husband can have that wedding all by yourselves.
Stop talking about such nonsense, Mom. You think everyone else is an idiot like her? There's no way that could be possible. Why are you on her side right now anyway, Mom? I'm telling you right now, there's nothing to gain from being her friend right now, Mom.
Nothing to gain?
Mom, you are the #1 person that I look up to, okay? You graduated from the same university as me, and when you were young, you had a wonderful career of going all over the world to work. So when you ask me who the woman is that I look up to, I say that's my mom. So don't tell me that you're an idiot like Violet is.
And the reason I've become such a huge inspiration to you is because of what Violet has done for me. It's because of her being around me all those years that I strive to do great work.
Huh?
When you say that I worked all over the world, that makes me feel good and sound cool. But when you ask me, I'd say all that work was tough and horrible for me. I didn't think that I'd have to do that much work all the time, and the stress kept me from eating a lot of the time. But because there was someone in the neighborhood that was just a little girl working so hard to achieve her dream, it made me try my best as well. It's because of what Violet had strived for that I've made it to where I am today.
Mom?
I'm telling you right now that Violet is not the type of woman I'll let you make fun of. She was the girl that helped keep me in line while working overseas and everything. So telling me that she has nothing to offer is the biggest joke that I've ever heard out of your mouth.
Now just wait, Mom. Settle down a little, please. Huh? Are you saying that you both knew each other while overseas?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Right after she had entered her first year of high school, she was accepted onto a youth team in China at one of the schools there. And during that time that she was over there, I moved into the house next door to her dorm and we both started to talk. I hadn't really studied a whole lot of Chinese, so it was hard for me to work. I was at the point of wanting to quit my job there and come back to the States. But while I was thinking that, I ran into her while she was covered in sweat after practice, and we talked about our lives there.
Huh? Is that so?
Oh, she was so amazing and cheerful. She told me that in her case, she had a hard time speaking to the other teammates as well, but still did her best to get the job done. And no matter how hard it was for her to feel at home, she kept looking towards her goal of one day moving on from that school and becoming pro. Seeing a girl like that, way younger than me at the time, that moment is something I'll never be able to forget.
And that's what all helped you get stronger.
Yes, because after our first time meeting, we'd slowly started to grow closer to one another. After I finished work, I'd go see her games and cheer for her, and we'd both go out for dinner a lot. She was the one thing that helped me feel stronger in a land where I could barely speak the language well enough. Really, she saved me from giving up.
You guys were that close over there? You never told me any stories about how you met a girl like that.
I didn't think I'd have to tell you. And at the time, you were back here with your dad in elementary school. I didn't want to start telling you about some 16-year-old girl I met while I was on the phone with you.
I get that, but...
Also, when she ended up coming back to the US, I didn't really want to talk about her dream never coming true. Really, I didn't want to think about how much that must have hurt for her. To me, I always loved thinking that she did achieve one dream, and that's being able to play for a soccer team overseas.
Wait, what?
I mean, how many people do you know that are 16 years old and break free from their normal life to go play for a team in a country that they can't speak the language in? And before she went back to the US, she became one of the best players on that team. To me, she did an amazing job going after the dreams she had. Really, had she not torn her ACL that final year, I'm sure she would have made it big. It was because of that injury that she had to go back to the US and be finished.
What?
I never thought once that Violet was ever any kind of idiot. I have to ask you this, Natalia. Is there anyone else at your wedding that could go out of their comfort zone and do what she'd done? She wasn't able to speak much Chinese then, and she was only in her teens and on her own. It's mind-boggling that she was able to do all of that at such a young age. And for a few years, she did an amazing job on that team and became a great player. So tell me right now, how many people at your wedding have done the same thing as her?
That's...
So if you're saying there's nobody else that's done the same as her, then they're all worse than her. Well, that must mean that we are all, you and I included, weak-willed compared to the strength she has. But if you still think you're somehow better than her in every way, you show me right now what you can do that makes you better. If you can't show me in 10 minutes, then you will never call Violet an idiot again.
Mom? I think that I may have been a little mistaken about a few things.
Mistaken, huh? All I've seen from you is you acting out like you 100% thought you were right. Actually, you've been doing it all this time, making fun of people for their educational backgrounds. I don't even want to think of you as my daughter. That's how far you've fallen from me. I can see there's no reason for me to be at this wedding today, so I'm going home right now.
You're lying, right? Mom? Do you not want to see your daughter in her fabulous wedding dress?
I'd rather see a pig wearing a wedding dress instead of you. Goodbye now. If you plan to be upset with me for this, then you can save it for when I'm done with you. I'm so sorry for what happened today. My daughter was so rude that it's made me sweat with rage.
No worries. Actually, I'm really glad that you stood there with me that upset at her. So please don't feel that you have to apologize to me.
I really am proud of what you accomplished when you were younger, and it made a huge difference in my life. So because of how you were treated today by her, I'll never forgive anything she's done. I'm still really worked up even now. I really want to go back to watching your games right about now.
Then next time, do you want to come see a game? To tell you the truth, I've become a coach for a kids team now and do it as a volunteer. And from time to time, I join them to play a little myself. I may be an adult now, but I've still got what it takes to play hard, so next time you should come and watch me.
What? That would be awesome! I'd love to spend an afternoon watching one of the practices or games.
And when you come, do the same as you've done in the past and cheer me and the team on. Actually, I really love hearing you on the sideline going nuts over me.
I'll do my best for you. Even though I may be a simple lady, I have a very large voice that can carry for miles. So I'll make sure to cheer you on again with that same voice.
This is the worst right now. Because of you, that whole wedding was ruined. Because of you taking my mom home with you, everything started to go downhill. Why would you do something like that to me?
I only went home because you had asked me to. It wasn't me that forced your mom to come with me. So I think you're mistaken yet again for trying to blame me here.
Shut up! If you had known my mom from before, you should have told me about that sooner! Why did you keep all that a secret from me?
I didn't know if it'd been okay to tell you about us. Her and I never talked to one another again after China, and so I never really thought about her again until we met just recently. All of that stuff happened like 15 years ago now. But I have to say that I'm really glad that she stood up for me.
Let me just tell you this, but don't think that you're any better now that my mom's on your side. You're still just a stupid high school dropout. Although somehow you got my mom to respect you. But to me, you're still just an uneducated buffoon.
Well, you can say what you want about me.
You don't even work in a high-level company like me, do you? You are literally a waste to this society.
Huh? So working for a high-level company makes you respectable then? Well then, that must mean I can be respected by you still.
Huh?
Actually, with all the experience I had with sports and sports management, I'm working for a popular company that excels in sports-related content. And on top of that, I'm a manager for the company. And due to that, I'm like how your mom was back in the day and am going from country to country getting my work done.
Yo, you're a manager there? You are? There's no way a dropout could become a manager. I graduated from an excellent school and I'm still only a base level employee.
Oh, you're still only base level there? I understand that I am a bit older than you, but only by a little.
Ugh.
I had assumed you'd at least be in some managerial position by now, but I guess I was wrong about that. I think you're moving up in that company slower than most people.
What? Just because you may have gotten promoted already doesn't mean you can talk to me like that. I still have my education that is far superior to yours, so you have nothing on me.
Oh, is that so? You're still better even though I got hired in as a manager without even graduating high school? How could that be?
You're asking me how? You already know why. Because I still have a better education and will soon be a manager here as well. But you also know that work is a different thing, right? You can only get so far with educational experience, but in the workforce, they also care about how well you can do your job.
Wow, so you actually do understand how the world works after all. Just as you've said, your education is nothing more than just an education. Even if you happen to have had good scores and all that, it doesn't really matter when it comes to moving up in the workplace. You really do get that.
Huh?
You just said it yourself, right? The workplace and education are two different things. Even if you try as hard as you can to make yourself seem important because of the education you have, work experience and your character are what get you places. You understand all that, right?
No, wait,
Well, if that's the case, then you can stop calling me an idiot for not graduating from high school when we're both employed now. I am in a better position than you are now, and at a very popular company, so you trying to ride the idea that you're still better than me due to your education is just pathetic. Now, I really do have to be going. I have a match that I have to coach today, so I'm pretty busy. After our discussion, Natalia and my brother had a talk, and he told her he really does love her, but her attitude of looking down on others due to their education was not going to fly. And that if she ever did it again, they'd be done. And when she went to her parents to ask for help about that, they both told her that they didn't want to see her face. And so Natalia was then kicked out of her parents' house. Because of that, Natalia began to go on a tirade about why everyone loved and supported me because of playing soccer and doing all of that. And because of that, she thought she could make herself better than me by joining her company's rec soccer team, but in her first match with her company, she fell down hard and broke her leg. And now that she has to stay home for 2 months to recover from her injury, her chances of moving up in the company only grow farther out of reach. As for Angelica and I, we've started going out together for coffee and food. And from time to time, she'll come out to some soccer games to cheer my kids on. Every time she comes, she just gets into a real fighting mood and will cheer non-stop for us, making all the kids really happy when they see her.